Hello, good morning. I'll go straight to the point because yesterday I would have liked to have mentioned what I'm about to talk about, but I wasn't going far enough, so I wouldn't have been able to express all of my thoughts. And my thoughts are to do actually two things. First one to do with Ukraine. I say Ukraine because that's a current thing that's being shoved in our faces. Oops. Right, so I'm using Ukraine as the example, but that's not what I'm really going to talk about. I am going to talk about the fact that the powers that ought not to be. I mentioned them briefly in one of the videos when I talked about, I did two videos yesterday, and I talked about money in both of them, money and power. And what I omitted to mention was the fact that every time throughout history, as far back as we've had technology to record events, they start the problems. I'm talking about the powers that ought not to be. They go around and they create conflict and misery, and then they come back to the common man, because it was men that used to do the fighting back in the day, and they say your country needs you. And so in the same way that people have gone crazy about Ukraine, so they would feel they're doing their country service by going off abroad to fight some war that was engineered by the powers that ought not to be. So off they go to fight, and in many instances die for the cause of patriotism, or whatever it is, for queen and country, for king and country, whatever. Right, so I mostly laugh. I spend my days and my nights, in fact I woke up this morning laughing. I will upload the video when I get back. This video was sent to me a few days ago, but I only got around to looking at it this morning, and I've watched it several times, and I shared it to Facebook. It's only a 30-second clip, but it is absolutely hilarious. As someone who a few years back used to do film background work, i.e. I used to work on productions as an extra. Looking at it, you can see, this is the 30-second video that I'm gonna upload. Looking at it, you can see that the extras in the body bags have been given instructions. The instruction is to lie still, but you can watch the video yourself, but for me it was an inside job. I think somebody on the crew, or persons on the crew, sabotaged the shoot. It's supposed to be a news broadcast, and perhaps it might come out that it's fake or something, because sometimes people put things out there for propaganda purposes and later on use it to say that actually it's not true. This was for something else. It was never intended to be news or to be taken seriously. So that is the thought that occurs regularly, and like I said, all I do is laugh. They don't have any interest, talking again about the powers that ought not to be, they don't have any interest in bringing people up so they can share with them what they have. In order for them to be, they have to keep people down at a certain level. But when they cause conflicts or when there are problems or whatever, they come to the common man. Again, whenever there's a drive to raise money for supposed charity, they go to the common man. I can proudly say I've never given 1 pence to charity. Right? I will help people, but I do not give money to organize charity. I don't get involved in any initiatives. So no, not 1 pence to Ukraine from me. And that's all I have to say on that. There's something else that I didn't go into in the videos that I did yesterday. So I'm gonna sort of just add that to the end of this thing that I'm talking about now. To do with celebrity. All over the media, David and Victoria Beckham's son got married. And these are non-entities. Right? The son has achieved nothing in his life to be a celebrity, except that he was born to two people who are famous in their field. Right? So he's got married to an older woman. He's 23, she's 27. And you cannot go online, to research something without seeing images of them. And this is supposed to be the newspapers, magazines, whatever. Not so much magazines, newspapers, that's what they're there to do. They're supposed to be bringing us news. That is not news, right? And you can't get away from it. So it's on the same level as Ukraine. You can't get away from Ukraine. Same level as coronavirus. Couldn't get away from coronavirus. Hold on. Hello. Another dog. I love them. Yeah, so basically anything that is chucked in your face relentlessly by the media, it is for a purpose. Nothing gets in the media unless it's for a purpose. Right? So yesterday with Boris Johnson and the Chancellor, what's his name, Richie Sunak, people there are some people who just want to see people in positions of power and influence and rich people get taken down a peg or two. So they got fined for supposedly having an illegal party. I couldn't care less whether they had a party or not. But some people would say, good, serves them right. But all that, the whole point of them, those two being fined and the Prime Minister's wife, I don't know how much they got fined, but that is nothing to them to pay that type of fine. But what people do not understand, I'm not saying that there aren't people who get it. The fact that they've made examples of them opens the door for them to make examples of the rest of us. And in making examples of us, they will say, well, we find the Prime Minister, we find the Chancellor, we find the Prime Minister's wife, so are you better than them? Are you greater than them? All of that is designed to open the floodgates for whatever they intend doing next. But I've already stated my views anyway. I don't play along. I'm not getting involved. So I'm just going to watch and see what happens next. But at the current rate, the way people have bought into the Ukraine narrative, it's not going to end good for some, but not all. Right? I don't understand how people, we all have, I would assume, the same level of, those of us with sense, who are able to think independently. I don't know why it is that some of us are capable of figuring things out and others are not. Actually, I do know it depends whether we allow others to do the thinking for us. But there are some things that are so obvious. I know many people think Boris Johnson is the bad guy. I don't think so. I think he's having the time of his life. He's having a laugh. I don't think, and I stand by this, I don't think he's one of the bad guys. I just think he's playing a role. Right? I just think he's playing a role because he's not a stupid man. That might be the persona, that might be what he tries to put across. But like Trump, these men are not stupid. They're sort of, like I said, in my view, somebody sabotaged the production, the news report, which was a production. Somebody sabotaged it for whatever the reasons are, and I'm sure it will become apparent. But just watching Boris, listening to Boris, he's having a laugh. He's enjoying playing his role in the production, let's say. Right, I'm on limited time. I need to get back by 12. So so take care. Have a good day. See you later. Bye-bye.